It's happening again. We are embarking on another one of those national experiments in which everybody who watches conservative media, everybody who gets their TV news from the Fox News channel, everybody who lives only on the right side of the dial, is about to start talking about things in our country in a way that makes no sense to anybody who does not watch Fox News. What they're doing this time is that they are trying to take us on a new national trip, like they've done before. But their new one involves accusing President Obama of terrorism. The president is a terrorist. They say he is a political terrorist. And they're not just saying this on the sometimes wacky Fox News website, but they are saying this on their primetime programming. This is their wacky website reporting on what's been happening on their primetime programming. This is Frank Vandersloot. He's a national finance co-chair for the Mitt Romney for President campaign. He's one of Mitt Romney's gazillionaire campaign donors. Mr. Vandersloot is now the star of the new Fox News-hyped alternate reality conservative media scandal that makes sense to nobody outside the conservative media sphere.
CEO of a health-related company says his business being attacked after he donated money to the Romney campaign.
He gave $1 million to a super PAC supporting Mitt Romney and soon after found himself listed on an Obama campaign website.
The campaign posted a website with the names of private citizens who gave big money to support Mitt Romney and described those donors in less than flattering terms.
Flashing red sirens. Fox News. Oh, alert. Private citizens, if you donate to the Mitt Romney campaign, the President of the United States is coming after you. To be clear, what Fox News is talking about here is a blog item posted on April 20th at a website called keepinggOPhonest.com, which is part of the Obama campaign. The item profiles a number of the gazillionaires who are bankrolling Mitt Romney's effort to become president. In this post-Citizens United world that we are all living in, where donors can give infinitely, frankly, getting to know your presidential candidate means getting to know their gazillionaire donors. And in Mitt Romney's case, among those donors is Frank Vandersloot. And he is not just a campaign donor, he is a campaign official. He is the national finance co-chair of Mitt Romney's presidential campaign. So he is not a random private citizen being dragged into the public arena. He's already in the public arena. He put himself there. He is a campaign official. And so his politics are totally germane to understanding the politics of the campaign of which he is an official. Still, though, it is palpable. Fox News is so excited to have a possible new Barack Obama scandal to talk about that in some cases it seems like they have just rushed to get the story onto the air before even they totally understand it, before even they have figured out the basic facts of their supposed scandal. Case in point.
So I want the folks to know how intense this became for you. You're a big Obama fundraiser out in Idaho, correct?
Romney.
Right. You're a Romney supporter. It's Obama who's the bad guy. Right, got it. Okay. Frank Vandersloot, as you just saw there, appearing with Fox News' Bill O'Reilly last night. This is one of 5 segments Mr. Vandersloot has done on Fox in this little flurry of attention so far, just in the past few days. But last night with Mr. O'Reilly, he explained how this one blog post about him as a Romney campaign official, he explained to Mr. O'Reilly how this has essentially ruined his life and his business.
Did it impact your business directly?
Well, it did right away. The first day, phone calls started coming in, and we had customers who said they wanted to cancel, people who didn't
Because
understand.
you were a mean guy, you're a rat. They wanted to cancel because you're just a lousy guy. They read that on the net.
Well, they hit me first with, they said that I hated gay people and I was anti-gay, which
So you're anti-gay. So anybody who was buying your products who were gay said, I'm not going to buy the products from this guy.
We have a lot of people we work with and deal with in the business world.
So they basically slimed you. They smeared you.
They did?
They slimed you as if you were anti-gay. They made that up out of whole cloth. Why would they say this untrue thing about you? It's not really a rhetorical question. That is a question with an answer, which Mr. O'Reilly had at his fingertips in the form of transcripts from his own Bill O'Reilly TV show. As the website Media Matters first reported today, Mr. Vandersloot actually appeared on The O'Reilly Factor in August of 1999 to talk about his public campaign against the gay. Mr. Vandersloot had just helped finance these billboards to go up all across the state of Idaho, warning about a public television documentary there that promoted the, quote, homosexual lifestyle to Idaho kids. After helping to put up those billboards, Mr. Vandersloot appeared as a guest on The O'Reilly Factor to inveigh against efforts in Idaho to, quote, bring the homosexual lifestyle into the classroom and introduce it to our children as being normal, right, acceptable, and good. Mr. Vandersloot said of the documentary, quote, it's propaganda. Any child watching this film will conclude at least that this homosexual lifestyle is correct. He described homosexuality as, quote, contrary to the moral standards of our community and nation. All of that happened on Bill O'Reilly's TV show.
So anybody who was buying your products who were gay said, oh, I'm not going to buy the products from this guy.
We have a lot of people we work with and deal with in the business world.
So they basically slimed you. They smeared you.
They did?
Dude, you have interviewed the guy before about what he thinks is so bad about being gay. It can't be a smear if it is a factual part of his record, which you put on the record. We asked Mr. Vandersloot about his involvement in that anti-gay billboard campaign in Idaho, and he just this year gave us this statement. He said, quote, I am a strong supporter of the argument that gay and lesbian people should have the same rights as all other Americans. My argument against It's Elementary, the documentary, was not against the film itself, but with its intended audience. I don't believe that sexual concepts, either homosexual or heterosexual, should be introduced in our schools to first, second, and third graders. I would endorse It's Elementary for adults, but most Americans would agree it should not be shown to little kids. But again, Fox News has not bothered to let the details around this thing get in the way of the good story here, right? A good scandal about the president having some kind of enemies list. Fox News is very excited about this scandal that they have uncovered. This scandal, that as exciting as it may be, you should know is not true. It is in fact false. But the way it's unspooling is telling about our politics right now and about how the conservative media is working in our politics. Again, the claim from Fox News and from Mr. Vandersloot, the basic allegation here, the scandal that Fox News has discovered, that you will soon see in an email from your crazy conservative uncle, is that for the crime of being a Mitt Romney donor, Frank Vandersloot is now the victim of terrorism.
Some believe this is economic terrorism, not economic, political terrorism. That targeting a businessman like you, running an honest business, because of your freedom to donate who you want to donate to, but try to ruin you personally and professionally, that's terrorism, political terrorism.
Terrorism. President Obama, of course, in this case, is the terrorist. Because of what President Obama has done, because of what Frank Vandersloot has done to support Mitt Romney, the allegation is that Frank Vandersloot is being singled out. It's hurting his business. People are asking all sorts of questions about his past. People are saying that he's anti-gay when he totally isn't. Barack Obama put Frank Vandersloot on an enemies list. He was targeted for retribution.
You say, look, I'm just an honest businessman, all right? Now, what happened to your business in lieu of that? What happened?
Well, when I first saw the list, I thought, this is scary. And within hours of that, then all kinds of things started appearing on the internet, suggesting all kinds of accusations against me, rewriting history, as it were, about all kinds of things I was supposedly guilty of. And
did it impact your business directly?
Well, it did right away. The first day, phone calls started coming in, and we had customers who said they wanted to cancel. We lost a couple hundred customers so far, and then we started getting that turned around.
See, according to Frank Vandersloot, as soon as President Obama put him on this enemies list, his business suffered. That's the scandal here. The president targets a private citizen, and then that private citizen's entire livelihood is threatened. Flashing red light, somebody call Drudge. But you have to know that whole line, that a private citizen targeted, that private citizen's livelihood is threatened, his business is being affected, his private life is being pried into. That's also what he told us, too, months ago. Months before President Obama was even conceivably involved, before that blog post even appeared on the internets. We heard from Mr. Vandersloot and his lawyers soon after we covered him on this program back in February. We reported on Mr. Vandersloot back then in his capacity as Mitt Romney's national finance co-chair. We discussed his history and political causes in Idaho, that billboard that we showed you earlier, as well as his efforts to discredit a gay journalist in Idaho whose reporting Mr. Vandersloot disagreed with. Mr. Vandersloot and his lawyers attacked our reporting. They asked us to pull it down off the web. They claimed specifically that our reporting on him had hurt his business, that customers of his had called up and canceled based on our reporting, that we were to blame for his business suffering. That was in March. Now Mr. Vandersloot says none of that started happening until after President Obama's campaign blog mentioned him in late April. Mr. Vandersloot is changing his story.
Well, when this list came out, when there were only 8 people on it, I was one of them, and so when I first learned that I was on his enemies list, that really worried me at first, I'll tell you. And my first anticipation was that, yeah, I've got a target strapped to my back, and sure enough, then the attacks started coming.
Then the attacks started coming. Not when we reported on him back in February, and when other news outlets like Glenn Greenwald at Salon.com and Mother Jones reported on him back then, but rather in late April, right after President Obama's campaign re-election team posted that blog item on him. That's when it all started. Mr. Vandersloot has reinvented his story, and he is taking Fox News along for the ride.
Well, he gave $1 million to a super PAC supporting Mitt Romney, and soon after found himself listed on an Obama campaign website.
CEO of a health-related company says his business being attacked after he donated money to the Romney campaign.
The Romney campaign finance co-chair has reinvented this story now to say all of these repercussions for him in his private life and his business started months after he used to say they started. He's now saying that the stuff he started complaining about back in March actually didn't start until late April, until after the president got involved, and now the president is coming after him, and every American should be afraid of the president. Frank Vandersloot is not just the CEO of a health-related company in Idaho. He is not just a Mitt Romney supporter. He is not just some private citizen who has been targeted randomly by the Obama campaign because they're thugs. He is the national finance co-chair of the Mitt Romney campaign. He has been given a leadership position in the Mitt Romney campaign. He is an official in the Mitt Romney campaign. And whether he likes it or not, that makes him a public figure. That means that his record is up for public discussion, particularly given that he has chosen to involve himself in such political causes over the years. And Frank Vandersloot's role in this year's presidential campaign is that he will now be the star of the new Fox News scandal about Barack Obama. 5 segments and counting so far on Fox News about how President Obama is a terrorist and the target of his terrorism is Frank Vandersloot. There have been 5 segments so far. Mr. Vandersloot has appeared in 3 of them. A private citizen who has nothing at all to do with politics other than being the national finance co-chair of the Mitt Romney campaign. 5 segments and counting later. Now Fox News has their brand new Barack Obama scandal.
Some believe this is economic terrorism, not economic, political terrorism. That targeting a businessman like you, running an honest business, because of your freedom to donate who you want to donate to, but try to ruin you personally and professionally, that's terrorism, political terrorism.
Frank Vandersloot, a victim of terrorism. Now, how do we wage counter-terrorism in this case? Very specific answer to that. Mr. Vandersloot, after all, is the national finance co-chair of the Mitt Romney for President campaign. That means his job is to raise money, and that is exactly what he has been doing with this story on Fox News. Watch.
Here's your check to restore our future, right?
I think the only response to this, I think the only response is to make another donation, another $100,000, and I would like to invite everybody. I mean, if they want to attack me, I don't suppose this is going to like reduce the attacks.
No, it'll probably accelerate them. But you're a stand-up guy. Look, if Romney wins, you're being what they call tall cotton.
But perhaps everybody else can donate in peace.
We thought we were done with our donations. We thought we had done our part, but clearly. We're going to stand up and get more involved in this campaign. And we hope that other people will join us in that. Everybody should get out their checkbooks.
Everybody should get out your checkbooks? Oh, that's how this ends. That's where this goes. Giving Mitt Romney money is what Frank Vandersloot and Fox News say is the cure for this victimization tale that he appears to have reinvented out of thin air. Get ready for that email from your crazy uncle about this. It is coming.